Everyone, and welcome back. I'm Nicole and this is Letting It Be So. I am here for a Friday Sews catch up this time out. I haven't done one for a couple of weeks, so I've got a few bits and pieces to show you. A couple of finished, more or less, projects, something I'm in the middle of, a bit of knitting update as well. Probably some other stuff as well that I can't quite think of now, but I hopefully will remember as I go along. Just to say what I'm wearing today, so I have got on one of my many Jarrah sweatshirts by Megan Nielsen, and this is just the standard crew neck version. It's in some French terry. That's from Lamazi, as one of their own print designs, and then I've just got some plain like navy ribbing on the neckline, but the cuffs and hembands are in the same fabric. Apologies if the light is weird. I usually film on my lunch break on a Wednesday for Friday Sews, but at lunchtime today it looked like it was like 10 p.m. at night. It was so dark because we were having sort of sunshine and showers, and at that point it was absolutely pouring down with rain and just very dark, and I had the main lights on, despite the fact that it was 1 p.m. so I decided to hold off, and now for the moment we have sunshine, but the light is sort of flickering in and out, so apologies for that, but this is what we're working with today. But I am back on Friday Sews. So I've got a couple of finished garments. So I'll show you the least exciting one first, just to get that one out of the way. And that is a very plain t-shirt. So this is the, I'm going to lean back a little bit. So this is the Jessie t-shirt, which is I'm pretty sure it's a free pattern from True Bias. I think it's one of those ones where if you sign up to a newsletter you get free access, but it's a while since I downloaded it, so I'm not sure, but I will obviously link in the description box. And I've just made it in this, it's getting a bit washed out in the camera. I would say that compared to how it's looking on screen right now, it's maybe a little bit slightly more green than it's showing up, but it is a very basic but oversized t-shirt with these wide hems. I need to give this another press, and probably needs to go in the wash as well to really settle the seams down. But yeah, you've got this wide hem as well as the seams on the sleeves, and then I have added in some matching ribbing as opposed to doing the neckband also in the same cotton jersey fabric, both of which are from Pan Fabrics. I just wanted to try this out as a t-shirt pattern because, like I say, it's oversized. These are drop shoulder, and I just wanted to try out a new t-shirt pattern, especially one that was free, and I'm pretty pleased with it. I think it's definitely, for me as someone who is quite small, I find that there's a definite sweet spot for me personally when it comes to oversized things. If they're too oversized, you just look like you've stolen a giant's clothes, and it just drowns you. So I think this definitely hits the kind of sweet spot of oversized but not too oversized. And I think I might quite like it as a pajama top, because I definitely feel like I would use the pattern again. For cozy pajama top where you don't, particularly in the winter, you want something substantial, but you don't, you still don't want pajama tops to be too clingy, or at least I don't. This might be a good pajama top, but I'm definitely pleased that I tried this pattern. I'll obviously put pictures of me wearing stuff where possible. See one of the other items for that. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that, and they definitely make it again. And I'm pretty pleased with the fabric as well. So this is from Pound Fabric, so it was fairly affordable. I've still got a reasonable amount of the jersey left. Probably get some underwear out. That's what I usually do with a lot of my jersey scraps, is I save it up and then I make underwear. But yeah, the Dixie tea. All right, the second finished completely item that I have is yet another Sagebrush top by Friday Pattern Company. I've made this a number of times. I definitely do want to play about with it a bit more. I think I might quite like a longer sleeved version, especially as we're, it's now September, so we're getting into the autumn months. So having one with longer sleeves might be nice. But yeah, I decided to make it again because I'd had this fabric kicking around in my stash for a while and couldn't decide what I wanted to be, and I decided to make a Sagebrush because most of mine are in like dark colours, so I wanted a lighter one. So this is it. So this is a Fabric Godmother. It's quite an old print in the grand scheme of things. I'll just lean back again and see it in pretty much all of its entirety. So yeah, it's like on a cream background and it's like a viscose crepe. I will say that I have in my stash, I don't think you can see it. No, I don't think you can see it. I do have this print in a different colour, so I have it in green, and there's definitely like a difference. Like this feels more of like a bouncy crepe, whereas in the green it feels like lighter, and I think that feels the same as some of the other viscose crepe that I have from Fabric Godmother that's more recent design. So I don't know whether they changed base when they were putting it into different colorways, but I'm not mad at it. I do think it gives the whether you'll be able to tell or not, the ruffle, it does make it quite bouncy. You can see it's kind of, so it's pretty gathered, this ruffle that's at the front in the Sagebrush, and I do feel like it maybe has a little bit of more bounce, like it doesn't want to lay down too much, but again, I'm not mad at that. I think it's a fun detail. I haven't managed to catch all of the rogue thread ends. I spot a few here, but yeah, so you've got the tie back, the back yokes, and yeah, these big puffy sleeves. But I really like the drape of the viscose crepe. It's not a fabric that I typically buy that often, but I think, trying to remember, I think I really like this print, but I think that viscose crepe was maybe all that was available in. It was either that, maybe it was available in this and satin, and I tend to get lots of static issues with my hair and satiny type fabrics, so I went for the crepe. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this. Like I say, I really wanted a lighter one, and I definitely want to do some playing around with this pattern because I do really like the fit on me, so I think it'd be a good base to do some pattern hacking. Like I think a dress, if I cut, take it off to here and added, I could add a gathered skirt, like a tiered skirt. That would be quite cute. So yeah, I would really like to try hacking this pattern because I think it's a good base. But yeah, that is my Sagebrush. I don't think how many I've made. I think I've got 3 in my wardrobe, all out of like viscose. So yeah, it's a definite great pattern for me. I really like it. So yeah, that is my Sagebrush. And the third thing that I've finished sewing on it, but it's not finished so that I can wear it. And that is, I made another Tilly the Buttons Nell Blouse. So I've made the blouse version once before, and unfortunately I cut it out in like a size bigger than I usually am in Tilly patterns. For some strange reason I decided to do that, and whilst it's okay, it is quite big on me, so I wanted to remake it in the size I usually am. And I had some cotton sateen fabric. I can't remember where I got this from because it was in a couple of different shops had this same print. I'm going to lean back again. So this is the straight blouse, so it just goes straight down. I've not done the peplum version, and I did the like bubble, like puff. I can't remember what they're called. Puff sleeves, bubble sleeves. I can't remember how they refer to them on the pattern, but you've got like 2 lots of gathering, kind of like the baby doll dress that was on the Sewing Bee a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, you got some good volume, and because it's a cotton fabric, my original one I did in viscose, you get really good. That was a pen just falling on the floor. Yeah, you get really good volume here. Not stupid, like it's not ridiculous, but just yeah, a bit more structure than you would with a viscose. The back's just plain, but yeah, I really love this fabric. I love the colours. It was very autumn dual tones, so I really wanted to get it sewn up ahead of, you know, the weather turning a bit cooler. And I think it's quite, you know, it looks quite smart, but whilst actually not being that complicated to make. But you'll notice that why it's not currently wearable. It's kind of very similar colours to what I'm wearing right now, isn't it? Yeah, I haven't put any buttons on yet. I also didn't make the ties for this because on the Nell, as opposed to a Fabric Godmother, which is the other tie front pattern that I have and that I've sewn, the ties on the Tilly Nell are like just for show. If you do them, you have like snaps underneath them. So I've decided to just make it plain, just because I think I didn't want, you know, it's a very busy print. I didn't feel like I felt like the ties would just be too much. So I've just got it plain, and I just need to add some buttons so that it becomes a top and not a jacket or I'm about to get arrested for flashing top. Yeah, I am going to do a sew and finish sewing because I decided to I've got some like rose gold snaps that I want to use, so I just need to sit down and get all of the bits out for my Vario pliers to put them on. But yeah, so probably won't have pictures of me wearing this unless I do that between now and when this video goes up on Friday. So apologies, but I do have an Instagram, which I'll put the handle for up on screen now, so you can go and follow me there. And I do try and put photos of all of my finished makes on there so that people can look at them, because yeah, it's a lot easier to do that just for, you know, still photos on Instagram compared to in a YouTube video. But yeah, that is my Tilly now. And in terms of what is in progress for me sewing wise, I've got another blouse. I was on a bit of a blouse top kick, and decided, yeah, to cut out a bunch all in one go. So I've got one more from that little cutting out spree that's in the works, and that is the Maison Fauve Penelope. Insert the name with decent French pronunciation here, for I do not have that. But yeah, it's technically a dress pattern, but you can just sew the bodice part into a blouse. It's going to be hard to show because of where I'm at, but essentially I have done the fronts. So I've got one front here. I've just sewn the facing on, and I haven't turned it through and pressed it. So I've got a facing, and I've got, oh, can I show this easy? I've got the loops to make my button ties, ruler loops. Yeah, and then on the other side there is just it's just like a little placket that's joined on, and I joined at the shoulders. There is can I show this? There's like some pleating on the bodice front of this pattern. So yeah, I've joined at the shoulders, and so I now need to join at the side seams, and then I've got gathered sleeves to add. So I'm not a million miles away from being finished on this either. But yeah, and it's in this art gallery. I'll show you the back because it's probably easiest to see the print. So this is an art gallery viscose that's been in my stash for quite some time. I don't remember where I got it from, that I really want to get sewn up in this nice dual tone floral print. So yeah, that's my work in progress. I'm going to put it down because it's like holding a little fabric octopus right now where it's not joined up. So hopefully you got an idea of where I'm up to with it. But yeah, that's my current whip I have put out a video last week of my initial autumn sewing plans, because I'm all about autumn. It's my favourite season to sew clothes for, so I'll pop a link into that video. One of the things that I want to get cut out first, that I've now washed the fabric for, is another Pippi pinafore, which is a Jennifer Lawrence handmade pattern. And yeah, I wear pinafore dresses all the time, but some of them have had to be retired because I wear them all the time. So yeah, I have got a denim version ready to get cut out. I'm off of work next week. I do have to do various life admin things and some stuff around the place, but there also may well be a tube strike happening, so my ability to do some of those things might be slightly hampered, which might then mean that I have a little bit of extra time to sew in between that. So yeah, I'm hoping to get full steam ahead into my autumn sewing, which is really exciting. Okay, so that's everything that I have been sewing. Knitting update. I have finished the dinosaur jumper, but I am not going to show it to you finished because I wanted to block it. So if you are not a knitter, you might not be aware that when you finish something knitted, it's a really good idea to do what we call blocking. So basically you soak the item, you can just soak it in water. I usually soak it in like a wool wash to give it a bit of a clean as well, because obviously it's been kicking around and I've been touching it for weeks, so it's always nice to give it a clean as well. And then you lay it out flat and pin it to the shape and size that's in the pattern, and the wool basically has like a memory and it will generally like relax. Obviously the jumper that I have been knitting is colour work, so you can find that your tension changes when you're doing the colour work as opposed to just the knitting in one colour, so it really helps to like even things out. So I want to do that before I fully share it in its finished state. But I have cast on a new project, so I've really got the colourwork knitting bug, and I had seen this pattern. I'd also seen the yarn that I used for the Stego sweater, which is a Yarnsmith Merino DK that I got from Wool Warehouse. They were having it on sale, so I had also bought more for another project. And yeah, after I finished the Stego sweater, I got straight into swatching and casting on. So I will show you my progress. So this is my new project. So I'm going to just put the name on screen because this pattern, the pattern is designed by and features motifs that are Latvian in nature, I believe. And now I'm going to probably look at stuff and realise that's not true. So these are traditional Latvian motif symbols. The pattern did have a description of like what they mean, and I'm not going to I don't remember exactly, so I'll pop the link in so you can have a read for yourself as to where these originate from. But yeah, it's called the Metanis. Again, I will just put the name up and the pattern designer. But yeah, it's a same as the Stego sweater. It's a top-down colourwork sweater. So I'm on the yoke. I've got a provisional cast on here. You can see my pink yarn, which was left over from the Stego sweater. I've used a provisional cast on. So yeah, I'm about, I want to say like a third, or maybe slightly more. No, I'm on about row 20 some. No, I'm on about row 30 of about 46. So that's like 2/3 ish, roughly. Don't come at my maths. Yeah, about 2/3 of the way of the first chart is for the yoke. So yeah, I can't remember if I have a second chart to do, but yeah, I'm liking it. So I've got this, 2 colours, so it's like purple and then a cream. But yeah, that was my knitting update. And I think that's all of the craft creative stuff that I have to share. In terms of general life update stuff, so haven't had a Friday sews for a few weeks. Part of that was because I had been planning to do one, and then I unexpectedly, very last minute, like literally 48 hours before it was happening, managed to get tickets for myself and my mum to go and see Coldplay at Wembley on the opening night. My mum was very excited. She really wanted to go, and when the tickets really released, normally I tried, but Ticketmaster sucks, and there were thousands of people trying to get tickets, and then they were all probably bought by bots anyway, because buying concert tickets is pretty broken these days. Just had no luck whatsoever with the official sales when it was first announced. But I sort of kept my eye on things and was thinking, maybe we could pick up some resale ones nearer the time. And then got notification that they were going to do another release of production tickets. So they're like ones they hold back until they've checked the venue to make sure, when they've got all of their set and stuff in, and then they will sometimes release more because they realize they have more space. And that's what happened. And I was sat on the train home from the office, just pressing refresh, hoping for the best. And about the 15th time of refreshing, it suddenly clicked through to checkout. So I had to quickly message my mum and say, I've got 2 tickets for Coldplay on Friday in my basket. Yes. And she said yes. So I pressed pay, and we had our tickets. So I'll pop in a few pictures to share. Obviously, I do have a lot of videos as well, but I don't know whether YouTube will tell me off for like the music. So I'll pop in a few pictures. But it was very good. You had, we were sitting right on the side, because, like I say, they were production tickets. But we had a screen facing us, and everyone was just up and dancing. You had the light show of everyone with their armbands and everything. So we had a really lovely evening, and we also managed to beat the queue getting to the tube coming home. So that was pretty good. But other than that, not been too much else happening in terms of what's coming up. This weekend, the Women's Super League kicks off in the UK. So the Women's Super League is the top tier of football in England. And I have a season ticket for our team, which is the Spurs Women. So, and we, the first game is actually on Friday evening, but obviously there's games across the weekend, and we are at home for the first opening weekend of the season. So I have a season ticket, so that means we are off to the game on Sunday. It might be a bit of a palaver because there are currently tube strikes planned for like a week or so, and some of it is happening on Sunday, so I might have to leave very, very early and potentially arrive very, very early and be hanging around. But I think the weather is looking okay, so it's not going to be the easiest journey, but I'm excited for that. Me and my handmade Noodlehead mini backpack that meets stadium rules will be off again to the football, and hoping for a good season for us this time around with a new manager. But I think that's the main thing that's coming up. You have to say, I do have next week on annual leave, so I am hoping that there will be some more time for sewing. I might be able to film some extra video content and one thing and another. But looking forward to another thing kicking off in the football. And yeah, I feel like I have forgotten something like really important that I wanted to mention, but I can't think of what it is right now. I think it's because I was all planned for like lunchtime to film as usual, and then it was just so dark and pouring with rain. All you would have heard would have been rain hammering on the windows. So yeah, I think that's thrown me a bit. So if it was really important, I'll tell you next time. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me for our Friday Sews catch up. I would love it if you would help me share my channel with the sewing community on YouTube by giving me a like or subscribing if you haven't already. Every little helps, as they say. But yeah, thanks very much. So thank you very much, everybody, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.